The standoff at Sydney's Villawood Detention Centre appears to be over. After more than a day on the rooftop of the facility, all 11 asylum seekers came back down to the ground earlier tonight. The protest was sparked by yesterday's suicide of a Fijian detainee, and throughout today there were emotional scenes, as Karen Barlow reports.
To the cheers of supporters, the last of the asylum seekers came down from the roof of the detention centre tonight. A blood-smeared banner was soon the only sign of a protest that earlier had threatened to escalate.
We could see that he was highly emotional and he physically had to be restrained from jumping off.
After the suicide of a Fijian national, Josefa Rauluni, yesterday, the men were on a hunger strike and threatening to harm themselves. 2 had cut themselves and wiped blood on their protest banner. The 9 Sri Lankan Tamils, an Iraqi and an Iranian, had demanded that officials look again at their cases. Believing they would be tortured if sent home, they called for a review of their detention status and wanted to be able to stay in Australia.
One told me, if someone is going to kill me when I go, I'm happy to die or sacrifice my life so that other brothers here will be saved from my death.
Frustrated with Australian immigration officials, the men wanted the UNHCR to intervene. The protest ended soon after the UNHCR officials arrived, but it's not clear how the UN can help the men.
As far as we know, there were no specific deals as such. UNHCR was going to talk to them. The men wanted to tell UNHCR what their problems are. No deals as such, as far as we know.
Tonight, there are reports that more than 100 people inside the centre were also on a hunger strike during the crisis.
They got off the roof to show their goodwill in a good faith. So they don't think they would be punished for anything, because it was a spontaneous decision yesterday afternoon that they would do something.
There was tension on the other side of the fences too, with minor scuffles between supporters and police again tonight.
I need to be very clear. We have the rule of law, we have a very clear process, and the application of their case, the consideration of their case, won't be and can't be influenced by any protest actions. Obviously, in relation to security, I'll have a look at this incident and see if there's anything to learn from this incident.
The Fijian community in Sydney is coming to terms with the incident which started all this, yesterday's suicide of Josefa Rauluni. Family and friends want to know why the police weren't called until after he jumped, and are questioning the role of detention centre staff.
He was very hysterical, and I think was crying and telling them to back off because he was going to jump. And he was saying, don't you sympathise with me? I'm Fijian, you guys are Samoan, we're all from the Pacific Islands.
The Fijian community member says the security guards said they had to do their job, hung up the phone on him, and it's believed that shortly afterwards, Josefa Rauluni leapt to his death. Karen Barlow, Lake